I've had a few subscribers request a documentary video on James Quick Tillis, but there are already two extensive pieces on him available on YouTube. I'll include the links in the description box if you're interested. One is pretty long and has interviews with his family and friends, while the other offers a first-hand account of where Tillis ended up by the age of 53. It's a bit old because Burt Sugar is still alive when it was filmed. So Tillis was a highly touted amateur with an impressive 92-8 record, once losing a split decision to John Tate. He fought out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, before turning pro under the management of a group of Chicago businessmen. He had a revolving door of trainers at the start of his career, starting with Ed Duncan, then Rory O'Shea, the legendary Archie Moore, 1980s lightweight contender Johnny Lira, and he eventually challenges for the title under Angelo Dundee. Now, Tillis was one of the many 1980s heavyweights influenced by Muhammad Ali's style. Like Greg Page and Tony Tubbs, he mimicked a lot of Ali's signature moves, dancing around the ring and using the jab to control the pace, sometimes throwing a lead right. The fight that I'll show you now was an ESPN showcase of the undefeated Tillis, fresh off a TKO victory over the former title challenger Ron Stander just a month earlier. Here he's going up against Frank Shram.
Frank Shram, veteran of 25 fights. He's been in with such fighters as John Tate, Cali Canoza, Ossie Ocasio. Unfortunately for him, he's been on the losing end of those fights. Busy with his hands is Schram.
Yes. I don't know how effective that is, but Tillis has beautiful movement. He's a classic boxer puncher.
He is from Chicago. He'll be 23 years old in July.
Reminds me of a young Ali.
Born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And a record of 14-0 with 13 knockouts. But again here, it's a question of, has he been tested?
He's got a beautiful jab. Nice jab and a hook.
Certainly shows some style. James Quick Tillis. He's in the white trunks. In the dark trunks, the green, is Frank Shram.
What I like about Tillis is he changes his pace. He got beautiful movement on his legs and the balls of his feet.
Schram is 34 years old. He's from Columbus, Ohio. Good left got in there. That shook up Schram. Tillis leads with a right as this year-long elimination professional boxing tournament continues. There's blood in the mouth of Frank Shram. Left hand gets in by Tillis. Left and a right. Schram decides to hold on.
Schram scored with a nice left hook, but Tillis came right back and took the play away from him with his own left hook. And that's the mark of really a great fighter.
Wild left by Schram. Right hand gets in by Tillis. And a right. The left eye is closing on Frank Shram.
I think he does. I think he does. And with time, he'll improve and be even more confident. They've said that about Leonard, too.
Yeah. And I think he's proven it. James Quick Tillis opening up. How about the way he throws the punches, Chico?
I
Good
like
balance?
It. Yes, very good balance.
Second round scheduled for 10. Heavyweight action. Top Rank Boxing over ESPN, your total sports cable network. We're live from the Aragon Ballroom, and Frank Shram is absorbing some punishment from James Quick Tillis.
Shram can't defend himself.
to the left eye. Schram goes down. Count is 5. Schram may not get up. Let's see. Up at 9. He used every second. Left eye is closing on him. Tillis right in on him. Down goes Schram. Schram gets up.
Schram is hurt.
Mandatory 8 count. Schram right now is in a lot of trouble. Left hand by Tillis. James Quick Tillis in the white trunks. Frank Shram backing up into the corner, taking a pounding, covering up. Tillis with a left and a right. Again the combination. And down, that's it. Referee Stanley Berg signals it's over. And James Quick Tillis has scored a TKO in the second round. His 15th consecutive win as a pro, 14th knockout.
Well, if I can express my opinion, that fight should have been stopped right after the second knockdown.
Well,
there was no question.
Certainly a mismatch. Frank Tillis.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner by TKO, 1 minute 54 seconds into the second round, James Quick Tillis.
James Quick Tillis, a fine-looking heavyweight, in at 202, wins by a TKO in the second round.
Next up is Tillis' fight against Domingo Delia. Unfortunately, the footage I have of this bout is in black and white, with no sound. Delia, fighting out of Argentina, was hyped as the 1980s answer to the Wild Bull of the Pampas, Luis Firpo. Heading into this fight, he was ranked number 3 by the WBA, although that governing body had a reputation for pushing Latin American fighters to the top of the rankings. This was Delia's first fight outside his native Argentina, and he entered the ring with a 23-1-3 record with 9 knockouts. As you might expect, his opposition was highly questionable, facing several fighters multiple times, making his record as padded as a stuffed pillow. Meanwhile, Tillis was ranked number 5 at the time, and the winner of this bout was promised a shot at WBA heavyweight champion Mike Weaver. This fight stays uneventful until the 4th round, when Tillis lands a huge right cross. Tillis could demonstrate decent power when he sat down on his punches. He floored the typically durable Greg Page a few years later. It was his inconsistency and reluctance to be aggressive that often held him back. A prime example came in October of 1981, when he squandered a major opportunity against Mike Weaver. Rather than pressing the action to take the title from the WBA champion, Tillis spent 15 rounds dancing and avoiding exchanges, despite trainer Angelo Dundee's desperate pleas for him to stand and fight. Tillis never did, losing a decision that could have changed his career. He did manage to outpoint an aging Ernie Shavers in June of 1982, but soon after, his career as a serious contender was effectively over. Back-to-back stoppage losses to Pinklon Thomas and Greg Page later that year sealed his fate. From then on, Tillis transitioned into the role of the division's top journeyman, capable of defeating other trial horses, but mostly brought in to pad the records of rising prospects or contenders who needed to keep busy. Tillis' most notable achievement in the later part of his career came when he surprisingly went the distance with a young Mike Tyson in May of 1986. But as the years passed, Tillis struggled to stand up against the division's elite, hitting rock bottom in 1991 when he was stopped in just 1 round by Tommy Morrison. He eventually retired with a career record of 42 wins against 22 losses and 1 draw. So as I mentioned earlier, I'll leave the links to the 2 documentaries in the description box below. The one produced by Tulsa World, I think it's called, is definitely worth checking out. While Tillis hasn't faded into complete obscurity, he hasn't been ignored by the boxing world. He's had a book published about him, and there are numerous YouTube videos featuring him. But unfortunately, by the age of 53, he was living off Social Security, and that's the reality of his post-boxing life.